their leadership jeopardizes when their life is not in order or their mind. So it's very interesting.
Wow.
Shout out to you. I won't say your name though.
One, it looks bad to other people. It looks dramatic.
Started you build a soul-free business.
Right.
That's.
Hi, I'm Rachel here with Rachel's Runway, and today we are going to do a tutorial.
I have the pleasure, nay, the honor. Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of Ready Aim Radio. I am your host, Adrian, and I have the honor and the privilege to have my second guest on the show, Miss Lori Beard. She is one of my friends. She is a phenomenal public speaker, mind coach, world traveler, and a super mom and super grandma, right? But she doesn't look it. She doesn't look a day over 30.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. That's super nice.
Well, anyways, give a little intro and introduce yourself to the audience. Say hi and say what's up. And if you're on, make sure you say hi, comment where you were watching from. And if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments below.
And share, right?
And share, yes.
Yes.
I'll say a little bit something about that. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Lori.
Extremely happy to be here. Adrian is one of my favorite, I call him young people in my life. He's still young, but then with a big heart and a great entrepreneur, very ambitious in a good way. And also he loves to help people, make things reachable for people. So I'm very happy to be here, ready to have fun.
There you go. Well, this is really more about you than me. I appreciate all the compliments. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that. But tell us about your origin story. Like, where do you come from? Where's your family? And all that. So where do you come from? Where do you hail from?
From the very beginning. So Lori Beard, I am originally born and raised in Puerto Rico and Caribbean island. I loved my life there. Yes. The beach is my life. These days that are here dark and rainy, it's just so sad. I need to put like reggae music or something to remind me of my Caribbean island. So beautiful and sunny. But got married, and I've been here in Texas for 22 years. It's crazy how time flies. And 22 years. Like he said, I'm a mom, and forever, ever, and ever, I was either breastfeeding, nurse, pregnant, or changing diapers, and I loved it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. But after my youngest went to school, I decided to go to school too. And I love the journey of becoming a life coach and a clinical hypnosis practitioner, and now a speaker because I love the outcomes of what I do with my clients. So I want to spread the message around the world.
That's awesome. And what is your message?
My message is that the power of the mind is amazing. And when you tap into that subconscious mind, the possibilities for you to transform and change are amazing and limitless. You can be from feeling limited to being limitless, like conquering the world.
Wow. That's some powerful stuff right there. So how long you've been a life coach, or is it a life coach? Is it a mind coach? There's a couple different terms out there.
It's all of it. Everybody refers, to me as a different thing, but when we put them all together, it's a mind coach, because I'm a life coach and I also do clinical hypnosis. And usually when people sign up for my programs and my services, they want both modalities, and life coach sees the person where they're at, holds space for that person, meets them where they're at, and sees what they want to do, where do they want to go in life. And then the hypnosis in me helps explore a little bit from their past to understand their patterns of behaviors and what is it that it's blocking them to move forward. So I've been doing this since 2016. In May, it will be 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. So mind coach. So, and we actually are doing a giveaway, right? So we have something to give away for you guys, for those who are watching. And we have quite a few viewers on right now.
Yay.
So again, if you're on, say hi, drop a comment below, say that where you're watching from, And we are giving away a free hypnosis session for all those who share this live video and comment with your email address, because we need to figure out how to get in touch with you. So comment your email down below, share this live video, and we'll put you into a drawing for a free hypnosis with Miss Lori Beard. So on that note, let's talk about hypnosis real quick, because it's one of those things that's, I wouldn't say like taboo, but it's not a normal form of practice. And is it true that you do in fact have to, I guess, be bought into it in order for it to work? Like, explain hypnosis to me.
Sure. So where do I start? This is kind of complicated in a way, but I will make it simple. I was just interviewed by a mental health practitioner, and I said that typically my clients come to me when they have gone to typical counseling for years and years, and then they're done with it, they hit a flat line, and they want something different. And it's not a quick fix, but it's kind of like a shortcut to that talking therapy is what I call it, right? So hypnosis, what happens with hypnosis, Adrian, do you know you hypnotize yourself like every day, all the time?
No.
Yes.
How does one hypnotize oneself?
Yeah. So you drive here every day, like to your studio. You drive here every day,
Unfortunately,
right?
yeah.
Right.
The technology for teleportation hasn't been invented yet, so I'm still waiting on that. I've already invested stock into that. So.
But you're almost teleporting yourself, because do you even realize when you get here, has it happened that sometimes you go like, I'm here? Like subconsciously you drove yourself here, but consciously you were probably thinking of your 20 bazillion things to do. Tell me if that's accurate.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. So I know that there is, I don't know if you would call it like a condition, but like micro sleep, where it's like I'm in, like, it's just muscle memory. Well, I guess it's hypnosis. I call it muscle memory, where it's just like you drive the same road over and over, and then you're dead tired. The caffeine isn't working for you, but you know what? Like, you got to get home or you got to get to work one way or another, and it's just one of the things that you just do it, and then next thing you know, like, you blink, and then a whole like 20 minutes go by.
I'm glad you mentioned blinking. So like blinking, breathing, you don't consciously know that your body is already doing that. You don't need to think about it. Your body does it automatically, it subconsciously. So driving here is basically something like that. It turns into something so subconscious because your mind goes in auto mode. So the reason I'm saying that is because every hypnosis is self-hypnosis, okay? So depending on where our focus goes, that's what our mind is going to do. For example, typically out there, people that think they're dumb or stupid, that's their mental language. That's what they're telling themselves all
Like
the
in
time.
their inner monologue.
In their monologue, in their thought processing pattern every day, all day. People with low self-confidence, people that are overweight. Oh, I am, big. Oh, why can't I lose weight? So you are talking to yourself, and mind me repeating the word, hypnotizing yourself or getting into a trance or altered state of mind, doing that, saying that repeatedly, and your subconscious mind is so naive that it believes it. It's so gullible that it believes it.
Wow.
And when you were growing up also, people out there, if they heard exterior voices, external voices telling them all the time, you're so dumb, you're never going to do that, you're never going to accomplish that, that is there like playing in their head, and they're going to believe it. Have you ever heard of what you think you become? What you think you become? Have you heard? Like
what you think
you become.
You become.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, is that?
Okay. So, so yeah. I mean, I've always been a big proponent of mind over matter. It's like your mind is a lot more powerful than people believe, and yeah, it's just like when you. Like giving yourself that pep talk in the morning in front of the mirror. And then I guess from a clinical standpoint,
yes.
or I mean, I don't know if you can explain. So explain it to our audience, like what happens in your mind when you say those things over and over again.
Very interesting that you say that pep talk you give yourself in the mirror in the mornings. So I want to ask you out there, how many of you really do that? Other than looking at yourself to make sure you're going to look, represent yourself well in front of the public and you don't have something out of place or whatever, women, vanity wise. Okay. But no, I have like 90% of the people that come to my office, I have a little exercise that I do with a mirror. Mm-hmm. I even have an article out there running. It's called The CEO and their image in the mirror, because when I ask people to look at themselves in the mirror for like 1 minute, it's so hard for them to look at. They don't like to.
And why is that?
Again, self-confidence or lack of self-confidence. They're struggling, and this is professionals that you would think they're successful. I've had medical doctors, CEOs in my office, and you would think, or I would look at them as successful people, and they don't feel it. They don't feel they are. And I have a little motto or, little theme that goes personal over professional. And it's because people that are seemingly successful professionally, they don't feel it because their personal life is a mess. Okay. And there's a saying that goes that no success can compensate for failure in the home, right? If you don't have your personal life in order, and if I liken home into your brain, your mind, the space between your ears where you reside the most, and if it's not in order because you don't believe in yourself, you don't think the best of yourself, you don't think you can do it, then things are not going to go well. They might look well if you're succeeding professionally, but you're hurting inside, and sooner or later it's going to manifest one way or another in your finances, in your profession, with your coworkers, with your peers, with your team. If you're a leader in your organization, I've had people that they struggle with their family, because they're struggling with themselves, and they're struggling with their team, and they're going through a company drought or crisis because of them. Their leadership jeopardizes when their life is not in order or their mind. So it's very interesting.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? That's crazy.
You asked.
I did. And that's why see, this is why I love doing this, because like that was, that's some deep stuff. We already have a couple comments. Oliver Davila, who is one of our biggest fans of the show,
cool.
Also commented like that's scary. So yeah.
Why is it scary?
I don't know. Let's ask him. So why is it scary, Oliver? So
and I can tell you many answers because of what I've seen. But yeah, I want to ask Oliver.
Okay, well let me throw this situation. So you say that you work with a lot of professional CEOs, business owners, leaders, and they are the ones who are giving their company pep talk. They are, running the ship. They are captaining, their business, doing their thing.
Correct. And
to the whole world, seemingly confident in their videos and in their posts, just all that. But then, we've seen it time and time again, like with celebrities, like, Robin Williams, where it's like the most confident, happiest people are actually the ones who are struggling the most internally.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's a stigma. And nowadays mental health has been something more, openly spoken about or talked about. But there's this stigma. For example, you're talking about celebrities and things like that, but also first responders. There's a stigma that if you go to what is that they call the mental health practitioners? If you go to
psychiatrist, psychologist.
Yeah, but there's like a derogatory name for it, like
therapist.
Yeah, if you go to, but there's a specific name.
The asylum?
No. If you go to a psychologist or whatever, there's a stigma that you're not men enough, that you can't handle things on your own. And there's that stigma with men, and also probably with women, with moms that have kids and they go into postpartum blues or like anxiety or depression. So there's a stigma, and that's why I like being a coach, because then they don't need to say I'm not a mental health practitioner, but I'm a coach that does hypnosis. So it's really, really cool. It's a great combination. But people don't talk about their deepest secrets or feelings, and they suppress those emotions. They don't dare to talk about it with their significant other or loved ones or spouses. Do you want me to tell you a story?
Sure. Story time. Let's do it.
So this gentleman came to my office, and he was in his 30s. And he was raped when he was young. And he had never told anyone about it because of shame. So shame and the stigma and all that is one of the key factors. Oliver said, that's scary. It's scary to live like that. And people don't want to confront that. They don't want to tackle those monsters that live inside of them or those skeletons in the closet. And they think that suppressing them is going to make it go away. And what it does, it comes to the surface sooner or later, whether it's emotional and with behaviors or physically, also like health. And it's just something that I really would like people to understand, that it's okay to face those monsters. And, like when there's a mall or a building that's undergoing reconstruction and remodeling, and they still want you to shop there and they want to still show that they're functional and says, pardon our progress. It's going to get messy, and all those feelings and emotions will come out. And while we're resolving and removing and releasing all of that, it might get messy, and you just need to put a sign saying, pardon my progress. I am working on myself and dealing with my monsters and remodeling myself, and it's going to be so liberating and so freeing and so wonderful, Oliver. So it's scary, but it's great.
There you go. So I do have a specific question. So just on that note, where you say that you're dealing with your monsters, putting a sign up as like, pardon our construction, pardon the mess, and all that stuff. But again, just going back to speaking for myself as someone who runs a company, who is a leader, sure, you can, I guess, like have precautions, whether it be an assistant or in my case, I have a really awesome office manager that can take care of things if I need to take like a personal day or whatever. But like for the solopreneurs out there, those who are running their own business and they don't have that kind of help, like what would you suggest in that form for those who aren't blessed to have like a support staff around them, and they are dealing with all those demons, those monsters, because we do have a lot of solo entrepreneurs, solo business owners that do follow us. What would you suggest that they do in order to take care of themselves, but they still need to make an income, they still need to be able to put food on the table?
Right. So let me see if I am understanding your question. So as far as pausing their life for a second and taking time for sessions or
right.
Yeah.
Because you said, like, as you're dealing with these demons, as you are dealing with all this that's going on, you said put a sign that says under construction, pardon the mess, whatever.
Yeah.
You're dealing with yourself. So you kind of have to excuse yourself from the world, right? But for the solo business owners out there, what do you do?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And then let me explain better. So I'm saying, like, it's not like you need to take days off. I mean, that would be great if you do. If you do. Actually, a medical doctor that came to me says, she needed to do that, and she did. And that depends on your job and things like that. And if you're a solopreneur, you might not be able to do that. To answer people out there, I do by appointments on Saturdays. If that helps the solopreneurs take some time away. I do evenings too, but it doesn't matter if you're going to work with me or not. It's so important for you to take care of yourself that, couple of hours a week. I have new videos out there with testimonials, and one lady, I just appreciate the fact that she said, you're going to invest money and you're going to invest time in going to Lori or going to these sessions, but you're investing that in yourself. So because there's no cost, there's no price to that inner healing, right? If it's for your good, and while you might slow down for a little bit, that it's because you're gonna pick up so much momentum, because you're gonna resolve so many things, you're gonna remove so much baggage of your shoulders, that then you're gonna be lighter and be ready to run and excel even further in your journey, as personal journey and professional journey.
So you're saying it's one of those things that it's better to take one step back in order to take a leap forward.
Absolutely. Perfectly put. Yep, absolutely.
Great.
And it's not literal. You're literally, because hypnosis, the power of hypnosis is so it's kind of subtle yet impactful that you might just have better outcomes and results faster than you think. It's going to be slower. So I want to give it a try.
Sure. I mean, why not? I mean, maybe I'll share the video myself and put my email down so that way I can win the,
You can win that
free
free
session. Right.
Yes.
Well, cool. Well, let's. I mean, first of all, that's some fantastic stuff. That's really great. Really deep. Love it. Absolutely love it. What made you, I guess, want to get into this in the first place? Like what? Yeah.
It's a very good question. So I was brought up in a household where there was a lot of addictions. Male figures, actually. Nothing wrong. I have 6 boys. I have all these boys around me, and I love male. But in growing up, all these male figures had issues with addictions and things like that. Mom was divorced. My aunt was divorced. Grandma was divorced. So it's just like, what's wrong with you guys? And since I was a little girl, I kind of liked psychology or to study human behavior and things like that, and then grew up and then got married and had 8 kids. So
8 kids, guys.
8 kids.
8.
I don't know.
That's this many.
And I always say natural because they came one at a time, no multiple, same spouse, and not blended. I mean, that's a blessing either way.
That's amazing.
But
Kudos to you.
Oh, thank you. So, and then when my youngest went to school and I found this amazing online program, very convenient for my situation, with 8, all those kids and things like that. And I really was very interested in life coaching. But when they also said that I could do simultaneously, the certification with hypnosis, I said, what is that? I had no idea. But then because of all this issues in my family and all that, I'm like, hey, maybe I can be an instrument. Maybe I can help. And I've had kids also that dealt with addiction and things like that. I'm like, I can be an instrument. I can just tap into that subconscious mind and help them, if not them, because you sometimes can't be a prophet in your own land, right? Others, that part of it, I was very attracted to, very interested in, and I just embraced it, loved it, and pursued the clinical hypnosis aspect of it, which deals with pain management and emotional release. So that's what drove me into it.
There you go. That's awesome. All right, we're going to pause real quick and just do a little plug real quick. So for those of you who jumped in a little bit late, I am interviewing the lovely and beautiful and super talented and super smart and very intuitive Miss Lori Beard here,
Thank
who is
you.
a mind coach, life coach, author, and speaker. And if you have any questions about just changing your mindset, changing the inner monologue within your mind, or as you said, the space between your ears, I thought that was cool. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. Myself and John Carter, who you guys can see, are monitoring any of the comments, and so feel free to comment. And again, just say hi and let us know where you are watching from. And we are giving away a free hypnosis session. Not me, but Miss Lori here is giving away a free hypnosis session. All you have to do is comment with your email in the comments below, and then share the live feed. So that way we have a really positive message that we want to share with everyone. And again, we are here at AI Media Studios, located in South Lake. And yeah, I'm super excited. I do want to plug. Is it okay if I talk about your book real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to go ahead and plug. So like I said, Miss Lori here is a speaker and author. Her book is called Freedom from Self-Slavery, available in English and in Spanish.
Coming soon.
Spanish is coming soon. Okay, just kidding. I jumped the gun on that one. But we, as AI Media, and myself personally, had the honor of capturing or designing the cover of this book. And I've read this thing from cover to cover, and
good.
it is fantastic. Let's talk about this book real quick.
Sure.
Do you mind?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Easy reader, right? Simple,
Yeah,
from the
super
heart.
easy. Yeah, 100%. And so let's give a little snippet about like what the book is about and what the 7 R's method is. So go ahead.
Sure. So like I said, I share a little bit about my story. A friend of mine, we've been friends for like over 18 years. She read it and she's like, Lori, you are brave because you shared some things from your life. And I'm like, well, yes, it's my story, a little bit of my story. And the 7 R's method is just the method I found that was very consistent in those couple of first years of practice with helping my clients. So it's 7 hours because if we do these things in life consistently and repeatedly, we will have success and in becoming our best allies, right? Because everything starts in our mind, right? So first is removing emotional burdens. Okay. Adrian, is very important. Resolving internal conflicts, okay? So sometimes we perceive things the horrible way and the negative way. So resolving those internal conflicts is important. Releasing negativity to replace them. So replace is another one. And reframing. Reframing sabotaging patterns, because sometimes we see things in one way or one angle. And when we reframe some experiences in our lives, things change for the best. And then replacing, like I said, when you resolve something and release it, you replace that with something good or positive. Restoring meaningful relationships, starting with a higher power, and then yourself, and then others, and rewriting your story. When you do those things, you can rewrite your story and design it to end in a different note than the first chapters of your life. So those are my 7 R's.
Wow. Did you guys write that down? If you didn't, you can just rewind the live feed.
So
But,
Adrian took the picture of my book and also designed the cover. So it's so awesome.
Aw.
Adrian's been part of my journey. I was featured in a global international magazine, and the pictures that I submitted for the magazine were all Adrian's. And I'm like, Adrian, you're all over the place in this article. Because he's
You're making me blush now, Lori. God.
Because he's so awesome. Yes.
I did not pay her to say all this. That was all on her.
He's
so.
awesome. He's awesome.
Say what?
Checks in the mail.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, John. Thank you. Well, anyway, I appreciate all the comments, sincerely. It's been exciting to be a part of your journey as well. Still waiting for you to hit that the New York Times bestseller list. So that'll be super exciting.
I'm working on another book, and I'm planning to ask you for help on that one too.
Oh, so y'all heard that, right? Verbal agreement.
Commitment here.
Verbal commitment there. Awesome. Okay, so obviously you talk to your clients a lot about like self positivity, changing the mindset, and just like anything else, it's always good to lead by example. So what is something you do whenever you're feeling stressed or anxiety or have a lot of clutter in your mind? What do you do?
Great questions. I need all that good stuff that I preach or teach, right, to my clients, and I need to lead by example. Self-care. And the cliche. What is the cliche? What is it that you need to do in an airplane? What do you need to do for yourself first? We've heard this a lot. You're supposed to what? Put on the oxygen mask first, right? Before you help others.
This is true.
You know, we are usually
I never pay attention
in our phones when they
I never pay attention during the on-flight safety things.
When the flight attendants are talking, doing their job.
Apparently it's important, but I never pay attention.
So if you didn't know, if there's an emergency and those masks come down, you're supposed to put on your oxygen mask first before you. And for some reason, at the beginning of when I heard that, I'm like, what? Aren't we supposed to help others first? But no, how can we help them first if we are not even breathing, right? So for me, okay, like Adrian said, I'm a life coach. I do hypnosis. I speak, and I'm a mom, and I'm a grandma, and I need sanity in my life, and I need balance. Juggling all those responsibilities and roles is a balancing act. So I have a wonderful morning routine, and I do self-care. Guided meditations is crucial. Working out or movement is important. I love to have hobbies and to move. Lately, you want to know my new sport? I don't know if it's a sport, but that I've tried.
Sure.
Aerial yoga.
Oh, like when you're just like suspended in the...
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Interesting.
And it's amazing.
Okay.
It's so... Oh. You've done it? John has done it.
John's done it.
He's not in camera.
See, now my imagination's all over the place. John, why would you say that to me while we're broadcasting live? Now I'm just imagining you in the
Spinning.
in the air.
Now you need to do it, Adrian.
Well, I don't need to do it. I need to see John do this. Anyways, we're moving on.
He's turning red.
Oh my God. Okay.
But it's awesome
Right.
because that inner child, I used to love, coming from the Caribbean, used to love hammocks. Who likes hammocks? I love hammocks.
I love hammocks.
And then swings. I love swings.
Right.
And aerial yoga and I love yoga. So it's just the perfect combination. And it just makes me feel like I'm flying and I'm swinging and I'm spinning. So it's just so fun. And that's what I try to do. I try to explore, experience new things. I have a great friend. She just retired here. She's here from Hawaii. So she started teaching me about standing paddleboarding. And that's really cool too. So trying new things, moving, working out. I just love to take time for me. And that's very important. What?
There you go. No, one of our viewers, Miss Bobby Joe, who's a good friend of mine, who's actually getting married soon. Next week, actually.
Whoa,
Super excited for your
congrats,
wedding.
Bobby.
She goes, I have a question, but she said it in Spanish. I'm not going to attempt to say it because I don't want to embarrass any of my
Can I read?
Spanish. Yeah, no, I mean, the first 3 words are in.
Tengo una pregunta. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I have a question. I get that. I only took 3 years of Spanish in high school. But anyways, so she goes, what advice would you give to silence the I'm my own worst critic voice and avoid the rut that comes with it?
Yes. Very important question. Tell me the name again.
Bobby.
Bobby.
Yep.
Bobby, the way to shut it off is that. Just do that. Or if you can't, because it's so embedded in you to do that self-talk, right? To mental chatter, I guess, is to change the program, change the input. I teach a lot about affirmations, positive affirmations. Affirmations are declarations you throw out there to the universe in aloud or in your mind about what's the opposite of what you're telling yourself. If we flip pancakes, if we flip tortillas, let's do that with our thoughts. So what is it?
So hungry right now.
You're so hungry. Sorry.
Or are we flipping tortillas?
We're flipping tortillas because you want to flip your mental chat. You want to bring in and replace that with a positive input. Sorry to mention food, Adrian.
No, you're fine.
But yes, if whatever you're telling yourself, and tell me the question again. So how does she turn it off?
She's asking, what advice would you give to silence the I'm my own worst critic voice? Because we are, right? Especially for me as a creator.
Yeah.
The biggest struggle that I have, honestly, is doing the whole, how do you say it? It's like, well, it's, as a creator, I take pride in my work, right? And so trying to release content, especially for the whole world to witness and to bear, just to bear witness, is sometimes holds me back from what I need to do as a business person, right? Because as a business person, I need to, post content every single day, for my followers, for you guys who are watching and whatnot. But sometimes I'm like, well, maybe this photo isn't good enough, or I look at it in a super critical eye. As a photography coach, I'm just like, man, like I could have done this better. I could have done this or whatever. And but even just beyond my art, when people say, hey, Adrian, like you have things that other people need to hear. But I was like, well, am I going to be able to deliver it right? Am I going to be able to say the message that I need to? Like, there's so many self-doubts and no one is saying it because, again, like...
It's self-inflicted?
It 100% self-inflicted. Just like, it's just... I have always struggled. And this comes from a little bit from my childhood. And I I love my parents and everything that they did. And I know it came straight from the heart. But... whenever I would do good at something, there was always, you could have always done it better.
Oh yeah. No,
right.
No.
And that's why there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. And I get that, but sometimes it almost becomes self-limiting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And exhausting.
100%.
And
mentally, emotionally
exhausting. So for Bobby and for Adrian Indolos, that I love so much, self-compassion. Cut yourself some slack and think, will I be telling this or saying this to somebody else? Your best friend, somebody that is so tenderhearted that you would never say something so mean or demand so much from this person because you know the limitations or you know how exhausted they are, you know how perfectionist they are, and would you say that to them? Question, would you say that to them? Would you treat others the same way you're treating yourself?
Absolutely not, right?
Right.
Obviously, when I'm talking to, the other photographers in my company or the videographers or even management, even my back end admin team, I look at the things that they do and I'm like, that looks great. That looks fantastic. Go ahead and post it or whatever.
Very good.
And yeah.
We all know there's like the contrary of that out there. Like there's jerks that will just,
Oh, yeah. I
but
mean,
you're not that kind of person. And then Bobby seems, if she has this question, that means that she is not that kind of person either. And it's funny because another podcaster, I presented this to him and he's like, yeah, nobody else demands any of this. It's just self-inflicted. And I asked him the same questions. He's like, never. I would never say something wrong or degrade or criticize somebody like that. Like I do
not
to
to
myself.
the level that we do it to ourselves. Like, of course, we might give like our 2 cents, give a critique or two, but
Right.
definitely not to the degree that we have going on.
And maybe
to
in a
ourselves.
more constructive approach, right?
Oh, 100%.
More compassionate and loving because of respect, right? So why do you cross that boundary with yourself? Okay, so that's the question. Why do you cross that boundary with yourself and do not show self-compassion to yourself? So there's a lot of answers to the question. I have my clients start journaling. I have my clients start declaring affirmations, writing them on their mirrors with dry erase markers, writing them on their dashboards in their car if they spend a lot of time in the car. I am this, I am affirmations and declarations. And give yourself a pat on your back once you have accomplished, telling yourself something good. I have clickers. You know how when you go to a warehouse warehouse, people are counting how many people are coming in, or a concert,
Yeah.
those clickers. I have clickers in my office just for people that want to go along with this exercise. Take it home and count with the clicker how many times they do self-sabotage with their words, with their thoughts. And also how much they do also, because maybe you're very nice with people on their face, but sometimes maybe we get caught up in like thinking the worst of people, or oh, look at those shoes, or look at that hairdo, that's horrible. So I have people do that exercise and count how many times, and they are amazed at how much horrible stuff they tell themselves all day, every day. So that flipping the tortilla, when they realize and they're more aware of flipping tortillas, when they're more aware of their pattern and how many were there, then I have them count the positive. Let's just consciously make an effort to give yourself a pat on your shoulder when you did something good, and forgive yourself, because we're so hard on ourselves, and guilt, and then also not forgiving ourselves. It's a big one too. It's a big one. So, Bobby, if that answers self-compassion, changing the way you talk to yourself, and think, if it's hard to just do it like that, think, would I say this to somebody else, and then switch the channel.
There you go. She has, she's commented a little bit. Let's see if we can read up on it. So she goes, I'm a perfectionist and the hardest on myself for the dumbest, smallest mistakes, and the rut seems to be inevitable at times. As I mentioned, she is, balancing a wedding, which is next week. She is in undergrad. She's in college right now. She's also a full-time demanding job, taking care of, things at the home, 4 animals, future husband, and trying to keep herself healthy. It makes me feel like a rubber band being stretched to the max.
It's gonna snap.
Any suggestions on how to balance all that without going insane? And no, we do appreciate the novel, Bobby. This is why we do this show.
Yeah, I love it.
For those who have things out there that have questions, this is why we do this show. So thank you for being vulnerable with us and asking that question. And so for all those who, and by the way, I'm right there with you. Personal things going on with family. Grandparents are getting older. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Running a company, trying to, stay healthy as well. But, and we're fully deployed in all platforms now. Quick plug. So we are on, all the social medias. We have our magazine. We have, this podcast, this video cast as well. So I'm with you. I'm stretched thin as well. So for those of us who are just feel like we're at a breaking point, but we can't because there are people who count on us. Your suggestion?
My suggestion immediately for her, especially when she's so pressed in time and wedding is coming up next week.
Yep.
That's a
10
lot.
days. I can't wait.
Bobby, take a big, deep breath. When you are going and don't know what else to do, you're driving, whatever, take a deep breath. There's a little formula that goes 7-11, breathing deeply to the count of 7 and exhale slowly to the count of 11. And whatever you want to breathe into your life, this sounds all, cuckoo, corny, whatever. But do it. Do it. If you haven't done it, practice it and do it just in faith. And if you don't have any other choice, right? Air is for free. Oxygen is for free, right? So breathe in whatever you want in your life at the moment. Peace, forgiveness, sanity, whatever it is, breathe it in for 7, to the count to 7, and then exhale whatever it is. I promise you, I've had that with headaches, especially when I'm going to speak in front of an audience or something. And because of the insecurity, lack of self-confidence, self-doubt or whatever, I start getting my little pressure or stress headache. And then I breathe in peace, confidence, and I breathe out fear and self-doubt. And it works like a charm. If you don't believe me, ask the dishes, right? Like in Beauty and the Beast. No. But
love that reference. Disney reference.
Disney reference. Also, take time 5 times a day. 5 times a day to not think or do or say anything. Meditation. Yes, I said the M word. My hypnosis approach is more metaphorical, and it's with scripts that take you to an imaginary journey. Like I said, the subconscious mind is very gullible. So it believes everything you tell it, even if it's not real, right? You're not dumb. You're not da-da-da, whatever it is, you're not. So if you start telling it, but it's been believing it. So if you start telling it what you are, what you want it to be, you will become. And where was I going with that? I was saying that when you sit down and don't think and clear your mind, meditation is important. Yes, I was going to my hypnosis approach is with guided meditations that are metaphorical. So it is so important to think about the positive and about where you want to be and what is it that you want, even though you don't feel you're there. But if you think it, you'll get there.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So for those who, need a coach and a little bit of external help, Ms. Lori here does have her own business, helping those with the space between their ears. I'm just going to keep saying that because it's really cool. It is really cool. But for the majority of those who can't or maybe can't afford or what have you to afford professional service like Ms. Beards, what is... For those of us who, or maybe you're just too embarrassed, because I know for a lot of people, asking help is one of the hardest things to do, right? Just admitting it that you have a problem and needing help is very hard. So I guess for those of us who are maybe just a little bit too shy, what is something that we can do at home to at least start the process, right? Because again, like you said, there are those who can't even look themselves in the mirror, let alone just, how do you call it? Just being able to say one positive thing. Like there's a lot of people who just struggle with self-negativity. What is just the first step? Let's just do that because we are running out of time. What would be the first step into being able to get to that positive mindset?
Acknowledge that they're there. Acknowledge that they are there and that they're these beings, and acknowledging, okay, I have an issue. Acknowledging is important. And then also wanting to change. Having that hunger to change. Those are my favorite clients, the ones that are really done and are ready to do something to change. That's another one. Journaling, telling who am I? Who am I? What are my attributes? It's very important. Writing down those. I know you said it's first step, but there's different options depending on
Right.
on people's personality and willingness to do something. So there's little things that you can do. So there's several ones, not only one answer. So those affirmations: I am beauty. I am the best I can be right now. Marissa Peer, she's from England. She does basically what I do, and she had a little campaign going, saying and inviting people to write down, I am enough. And that made a big difference in a lot of people. And also, there's this amazing apps called either Headspace or Calm. Have you heard of those?
I have not.
They're great apps, and there's YouTube videos that you can say, okay, productivity, I'm not very productive. Find a YouTube video, say guided meditation about productivity. I'm so angry. Guided meditation about releasing anger. You're going to find a lot of resources on YouTube and the internet and in those apps to help you start your journey to peace and joy.
That's
So.
awesome. There you go. Well, if I can weigh in on this, Bobby, first of all, I hope that helped hearing it from Miss Lori here. And for me, I guess if I can just share a little bit of where my head is at as someone who, does have a lot on his plate. And, there's, for me, my journey a year ago was a big transformation. Obviously going from solopreneurship to running a business where there are employees who depend on the company doing well.
That's a big change.
Yeah, it is a big change. And it was just a lot of extra pressure that didn't really hit me in the face until late 2019 and going into the new year, something that I really took to heart over the holiday break, over Christmas and New Year's. And so for me, I guess that's part of my New Year's resolution is coming up, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, is like coming up with like one word or two words really to focus on. And so for me, the two words that I have for 2020, and I think you'll appreciate this, is grit and grace.
Oh my goodness. Perfect combination. I was like, no, grit. Why grit?
Yeah,
because you already have that all
and I'll explain why.
But
Right? So
I love it.
So grit and grace
I
are
get it.
my, it's kind of alliteration, whatever you want to call it, being cute. Honestly, I was meditating about it. I was thinking about it, journaling about it, doing all the things that you told me to do.
Excellent.
And those were the two words that I wanted for me personally, not the company, me personally, that I needed to focus on, that I knew what was going to help me as we transition even further. Obviously, grit as a business owner that's trying to do things that's never been done before, that is trying to, expand into new territories that I've personally never done. And there are days when even you've been worried about me. You're like, Adrian, like you need to sleep.
I was going to tell it. I was going to interrupt you and say, when I see those postings that you haven't slept, that you're drinking
3
an
a.m.
energy drink, I'm like,
energy
Adrian.
drink on my bang right here. What's up?
And you see my messages, right?
I
Son,
know, I do. And
self-care, please.
I love and appreciate that. But as I said in one of my messages, it's I think in the macro, right? Losing one night of sleep in order to have the next 5 to 10 years planned out and ready to go and ready to rock and roll. Like for me, the macro thinking is what gets me through. And the thing is that I do it because I'm in love with what I do, right? It's beyond like I have to. Like maybe a couple months ago it was a have to, but now it's like I literally am just up and I'm doing and I'm working and I'm on a roll. Next thing you know, I look at the clock and it's 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely in love with what I do. But to all the business owners and entrepreneurs out there, like you got to have the grit to do what needs to be done in order to get your business, to that point, or your life to that point. Grit is, I honestly feel like hard work is completely underrated in today's society.
Right.
Everyone wants the easy way out. Everyone wants the lottery. Everyone, wants to make an easy buck on some app or instantly on, Bitcoin or whatever, what have you. Like everyone's looking for that instant wealth, but it doesn't work that way. Hard work is what's going to get you there. But
Tell me
here's
about
where
grace. Tell me about grace.
Grace is where I know you're really excited about this.
Oh my God.
Because I've had the grit.
Because
for some
you
time.
said grit and I tensed up. And you said grace and I'm like, okay.
But the grace is the biggest change because I've realized that no matter what happens, Like, I have to learn to forgive myself. I come, like Bobby, like I am a perfectionist myself. As a solopreneur, it was very easy for me to get 5-star reviews when I was only handling, a few clients a week, but as the business expanded, the first time I got a negative review or someone was upset and there was nothing I could do about it, like I took that personally. I was so hard on myself that it literally like affected everyone around me, and everyone was like, "No, Adrian, it's fine. Like, we'll take care of it. We'll do whatever, refund, free session, whatever." Yeah. But I would still it would still linger, and so I've learned to have grace, and just telling myself that, hey, like it's fine, it is okay, and also I've learned to have grace in delegation, being able to, when I tell one of my employees that I need something done. And even when I get the results back and it's not what I would do, but it's still like good, it's still like fantastic work, I still have the grace to them to say, hey, like this is fantastic, let's go ahead. And like I've had to humble myself and say, Adrian, like you, as your business grows, you cannot do everything on your own. And when mistakes do happen, tomorrow's another day.
So tell me, I see that. I see that's delegating and also forgive yourself. Mm-hmm. Why does it always have to be that?
What do you mean?
I want to ask you, what do you think about acceptance? Accept. I mean, it has to do with forgiveness, right?
Right.
But then there's some tweak of it, because forgiveness is like, oh, bad boy. Like you did something wrong.
Right.
And like, maybe even on purpose, but no. So grace is very merciful. And then acceptance is something that you should say, hey, it's just what happened. And that's it. And also that is very good. You're delegating, because that means that you need to trust. Trust is very important.
100%.
Yeah. So if you trust yourself, if you trust your team, there's like a little bit less pressure, right? And there's more peace.
Yeah, no, and I've been able to breathe a little bit easier once I've started practicing grace for myself and also like for other people around me.
And sleep more?
And more is a very relative term, so I'm going to agree with that.
John is
I sleep more, but compared to what I was sleeping,
I like John. He reinforces things, and
100%. John is my inner monologue sometimes, and sometimes I listen to him, sometimes I don't. But what was I gonna say? And as you say, like acceptance, right? And again, it's kind of what I said at the very beginning of this talk. It's being able to just let go of the perfect, and accepting the good enough.
There you go. I love that. Letting go. Yes.
Because sometimes it's better to do rather than just being like hung up and just like you're stuck on the one thing. Like I said, I used to be behind on deadlines just because I wanted to deliver the best. But you know what? Like at this point, like clients just want their products. Like they just rather than.
And what you already offer is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Fantastic enough. So has it made a difference in your team? With your team?
I think
with yourself?
I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. Like again, like this was a very new concept that started with me at the beginning of this year. It's only been 6 weeks, and so it's really hard to really gauge. But I know at least for myself, I'm able to sleep better at night because
Excellent.
even like, and I've learned to take time to like, hey, Adrian, just go home.
Yeah.
It's like whatever that needs to be done, it can get done tomorrow, right? If it's like if no one is dying, you can go home,
Yep.
But before I used to go home and I would still like be restless. My mind would be going at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But now I've just learned to quiet myself and say, hey, like it's fine.
So how
It'll
did
be
you
good.
learn to quiet yourself, like Bobby was asking? So in your how are you learning to do that?
Practice.
Yeah.
Just practice, and it's
Consciously making an effort.
Just like anything in life. Like if you want something to change, you have to put in the intentional effort to do so.
Right.
And I'm not perfect. There are still days that
It's a process.
that I will stay overnight here at the office just because I'm working. And yes, it can be saved until tomorrow. But I was like, no, I want to get it done now just because I want to. But so I get like I'm not perfect. It's still a work in progress, like you said with the construction sign. Still a work in progress.
Yeah.
But it's what I do. I've just allowed myself to let go of perfect.
And then motivation and you being awake and excited is one thing. And being awake because you're demanding of yourself and because you're so perfectionist and you want it done, it has a different vibration. And that's a whole nother podcast. It has a different energy to it. So I am working now on my second book, and I'm waking up automatically like at 3:30 or 4 in the morning. I type a little bit and write because I guess that's when my mind's more clear. Then I go back to rest, until the day starts again. But yes, having that self-compassion and that grace, love that word. I'm so proud of you. Very proud of you because
Thanks.
it's amazing. So Bobby, learn from Adrian.
Me and Bobby go too far for her to learn anything from me and vice versa. But anyways, that is our show. We are unfortunately out of time. Let's go ahead and just kind of end with a couple plugs. Miss Lori obviously is giving away a free hypnosis session for those who share this live feed. We'll keep it up for a couple days, and then once we announce who wins, obviously the contest is over. So go ahead and share this live feed. Comment with your email below if you want to be entered in for that free hypnosis session. And do you do it virtually, or does it have to be in person?
It can be, yes, virtually or in person.
Perfect.
Yes.
So whether you're watching this in California or in New England or in Ireland,
Absolutely.
France, Africa,
I've
wherever
done
you're watching
Switzerland virtually. Yep.
Switzerland. There you go. Wherever you're watching from, comment below and with your email so that in order to be entered in for the drawing, we'll let you know by the end of the week who wins. And then you also said you had some other things that you wanted to do as well, or
A big thing for entrepreneurs and professionals, whether you work for corporate world or on your own, is money. People shake and people have paradigms as far as money, their relationship with money. I'm giving away also 5 assessments. If you're interested and you want to have this assessment done, it's just amazing, eye-opening, and it reveals a lot of things that you have in your mind as far as your relationship with money and how to prosper and thinking, from an angle of lack or abundance, and it's amazing. So 5 people that say, I don't know what,
just the first 5, or
the first 5
The first
that claim
5. All
their
right.
money relationship assessment. I'll be happy to contact you or contact me, and
There you
let's
go.
do
So do you
this.
want them to go ahead and contact you directly?
Sure. Any other ideas?
Where can people reach you? Do you have a website?
if people are on Facebook right now,
Okay.
yes. So steadfast-forward.com. But if you are in Facebook, just look me up, Lori Beard, and send me a PM, a message.
There you go. So for those who want a was it a
Money relationship assessment.
money relationship assessment, which honestly, frankly, is like all of us. So go ahead and send a direct message to Miss Lori Beard on Facebook.
The first 5.
The
people.
first 5 people to do that will go ahead and win that. And her website is steadfast-forward.com.
Yep.
And make sure you check out our website. Are you on Instagram?
I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram.
There you
Still
go.
learning to work the Instagram.
We're working on it. We're working on it with it. So
But yes, Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram.
there we go. Let's get you fully deployed as well.
Okay.
Awesome. There we go. And as a plug for AI Media, obviously, you guys, thank you for watching. And we are doing everything to improve on the show. I hope you guys are enjoying the HD, live stream broadcast. Again, I do apologize that it was a little bit later. We were having technical difficulties, but again, it's all in the growth phase. And so I hope you guys are let us know. Like, comment below and let us know if you like the HD, if you just prefer that we just do it on the phone. Just let us know because we are turning this into a full production, and I'm loving every single minute of it. And we do have a couple classes coming up. Speaking of those who are looking to grow and learn, we do have our monthly hair, makeup, and photography classes. And we have our next photo class coming up, not this coming Thursday, but the following Thursday on February 27th. If you're looking to improve your photography, whether it's on your phone or with a professional camera, it does not matter. Bring your Android, bring your iPhone. I don't care. I'm going to help you guys improve your photography.
That's awesome.
So, and it's only $20, and it's here in South Lake, right by the airport. So, anything else, Miss Lori?
One last quote and message, and I want to say thanks again for having me. Can I read a quote?
Go for it.
I love it. It's in my book, and it's although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. So I want you to think
That
about
is
that.
so cool. That is amazing. And again, make sure you guys find her book. It's on
Amazon,
Amazon,
yes.
Barnes & Noble, anywhere else you can find
Amazon for now.
it. Just on Amazon.
There's
so
a Kindle version.
There's a Kindle version. We're trying to get Morgan Freeman to narrate it. I'm just kidding. But make sure you find her book on Amazon. It's super amazing. I highly recommend it. It's a super easy read. Bring it with you on trips or when you're just waiting in the lobby for your appointment with the doctors. Doesn't matter. It's a super easy read. I highly recommend it. Give it 5 stars. And yep, that is it.
Thank you,
Anything else?
Adrian. You're
Thank
awesome.
you for being here. So thank you guys for watching the show, and we'll catch you next time.